Hello.
Not yet.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. MMA.
Hello.
MMA.
MMA. Hashtag MMA.
Mixed martial arts. Are you there?
UFC 265 official weigh-ins happening now. This is the MMA fighting official weigh-ins show. Excuse me, I accidentally caught in my throat. I'm going to cough at any second now, but I'm going to try and get through this. This is Alexander K. Lee, about to cough on this live stream that you've all tuned to. Thank you very much for doing so. I am, of course, oh, look at this. Here are our beautiful faces. I am joined, of course, by the inimitable Michael Heck in Boston-ish, Massachusetts. Casey Line.
Good morning.
On site. Oh, sorry, guys, my speakers. Casey Line on site in Houston for the official weigh-ins. He has been there all week, getting it done in H-Town.
I brought my own LaCroix. I'm a professional.
What is that?
I brought my
What are you
own
drinking?
LaCroix.
I don't know what that is.
Limoncello.
Is that a Houston, Texas thing?
It's a culture thing. Oh, God.
Oh, there is
Speaking of culture things, there's Oscar.
fighting world fighting MMA World MMA Awards nominee Oscar Willis gracing us with his presence.
You know, I'm
We're not worthy.
I'm a
We're not
winner.
worthy.
I'm an award winner. You don't see me bragging about it all the time.
There's
Just most of the
Mark.
time.
There's Mark Ratner wandering in front of our right in front of our shot. And guys, we are got a couple of minutes before it starts. Let's just go quick. Who's coming in first? Mike, Casey might know.
I think Ciryl Gane's coming in first.
Ciryl Gane, a heavyweight. Okay, I like that. Casey, do you have an inside scoop on this?
The man this card was built around, Kape.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna say
uncrowned
Chiesa.
flyweight champion.
I think Michael Chiesa is gonna show up. He's gonna show up championship weight. He's making a statement. 170.
Oh,
All right.
As my prediction.
Oh, I gotta get my weighing clock. I forgot to do my weighing. Oh, that's not it.
Yeah. Hit us up with the weighing clock, guys. We got the names up on the screen.
Hold on. Where's my weighing clock?
30 fighters? No. Yes. No. 26. I'm sorry. I can't see.
Yeah.
26 fighters weighing in today. We got ourselves hopefully a full house here.
Don't let AK's math affect how you vote for Between the Links.
Yes,
by the
people,
way.
if you have not listened to Between the Links, please do so. And I guess we can let people know that your participation will be required.
Oh. It's bumping here.
It looks good. Everything looks good, Casey. Video, everything looks good. Everything sounds all right so far. I assume we'll soon hear the sweet. I thought we heard the sweet sound of John Anik
Very nice.
queuing people up.
I got a fist bump from John Anik. Yes.
Oh, he's the man.
This fist. Never gonna
my
watch.
God.
Don't ever watch it.
Never
Don't
gonna-
ever watch it.
Matt Maggio in the comments says, in my opinion, this has the potential to be the card of the year. Not the most sexy name-wise, but so many bangers. There are a lot of really
here
good ones.
for the official weigh-ins for UFC 265, Lewis versus Gane. First athlete is ready to weigh in the UFC flyweight division. Melissa Gatto making her UFC debut here tomorrow.
I told you.
Just like we all expected. Melissa Gatto.
I thought he was going to say Manel Kape, and I would have went banana. That would have been impressive.
He's next. Oh, green.
124, the official weight for Melissa Gatto.
124, Melissa Gatto. No issues there. We are 1 for 1 so far, people. 1 for 1.
Championship weight.
Cheered her.
Right
AK
next
talk.
to the scale, one half of our co-main event, one of the best bantamweights in the world, ranked 9th at present, the young Punisher, Pedro Muñoz.
Pedro Muñoz. I'm not sure what sort of rankings he's talking about there, but number 7 in the MMA Fighting.com global rankings. Excuse me, sir.
I didn't his name was the Young Punisher.
$135, the official weight for Pedro Muñoz.
135 for Pedro Muñoz. He's getting ready for the big fight with José Aldo. Another one of several highly.
All right, next fighter to the scale. We will
this
stay
card.
in the bantamweight division as we welcome Jamey Muñoz.
Jamey Muñoz looking to make the 135 limit. He'll be opening up the card.
Oh, I just realized him and Drako Rodriguez are on the same card. I'll explain
Are
the
they-
statements of that later.
Please, yeah, we need to hear that connection.
$135.5, the official weight for Jamey Muñoz.
135.5 for Jamey Muñoz. He'll be waiting for his opponent, Jamey Simmons.
All right, next fighter to the scale, back for the first time in a long time in the UFC strawweight division, Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
Karolina Kowalkiewicz. As John actually said, first fight in a while. Definitely looking for her first win in some time. So see if Karolina can get back on track here against Jessica Penne.
Another Invicta versus Invicta fight.
Mm-hmm.
Two Invicta vets.
$115, the official weight for Karolina Kowalkiewicz.
15 on point for Double K. He's never had any known issues with making weight, so she looks up bright and early today
What was that
and
one?
ready for again her first
115?
fight sometime. 115 on the dot.
All right,
Championship
next
weight.
fighter to the scale, also in the strawweight division, competing live on pay-per-view tomorrow night, Tecia Torres.
Tecia Torres weighing in for her rematch with Angela Hill.
I filmed her very first fight, her professional debut in Invicta.
She's had quite a career. She probably owes much of it to you, Casey.
I think so. She was the tiny tornado. She had really good
And probably being born in Massachusetts, too.
Oh my goodness.
The official weight, 115 pounds for 10th ranked Tecia Torres.
115 for Tecia Torres. Always in amazing shape. Probably one of the most fit fighters.
All right, next fighter to the
in all
scale,
of
charged
MMA.
with kicking off the main card live on pay-per-view in the bantamweight division. He is Yadong.
Yadong. He has a big fight as well with Kenney. Two of the up-and-comers in the bantamweight division, guys who could both be someday competing for that world title.
competing in the best division in all of mixed martial arts.
Oh my god, it's so stacked.
Dude, he looks so cool with those glasses.
The official weight, 135.5 pounds for Yadong.
135.5 for Yadong. Casey, I could pull that off, right? I could probably pull off that look. Right? And I'm not saying that just because Song and I are both Chinese. I mean, we could. I mean, we're both cool-looking dudes. Is really the connection I'm making.
All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC's flyweight division, Osbourne.
Say no more. Say no more. Osbourne weighing in at flyweight for the first time. He's been wanting to make this drop for a bit. He was supposed to fight at flyweight last month, I think, and unfortunately that fight did not happen. So his last fight, he was actually at featherweight. He took it on short notice, so this is kind of a weird two division move, but that was only because it was short notice. He is a flyweight.
That was also supposed to be a flyweight fight until the short notice replacement. I think he was on the plane to the fight.
$125, the official weight for Osbourne.
125. Yes, my guys, you said he's had quite a journey in his brief UFC career already. So I'm glad we finally get to see him compete at flyweight. He has competed in the UFC before
All right,
at
next fighter to the scale in
135.
the bantamweight division,
As
Anderson dos Santos.
And as we said, 145, but this will be his 125 debut. Now we have another bantamweight coming up here, Anderson dos Santos.
$135.5, the official weight for Anderson dos Santos.
135.5 for Anderson dos Santos.
All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC women's flyweight division, Victoria Leonardo.
Brazil. That was for dos Santos, not Victoria Leonardo. Just for I just wanted to match his energy. Casey, I hope you're ready, by the way. I know you're on site, but I hope you're ready.
Right on the nose, 125, the official weight for Victoria Leonardo.
125 for Victoria Leonardo, championship weight. She's official. And her opponent also
Right,
made
next
weight.
fighter to the scale, one half
Melissa
of our
Gatto.
featured prelim live on ESPN2 in the lightweight division. This man set for his 40th professional MMA fight. He is Bobby King Green.
Casey, Leonardo versus Gatto is now official.
Hold on. I'm wearing many hats today.
156, the official weight for Bobby Green.
156 for the veteran Bobby Green. No problem there. The consummate professional.
Yeah, it's good to see after the last appearance and the Jim Miller
Right, next
fight kind
fighter
of
to the
falling
scale,
off.
12th ranked in the UFC women's strawweight division. You can see her fight live on pay-per-view tomorrow night. Angela Hill.
I like she catcalled herself. That's nice.
The official weight, 115 pounds for Angela Hill.
Angela Hill, also on weight. Her fight, Torres, is official. I guess we're holding off on that for now.
Hold on.
All right, next fighter to the scale, also in the UFC women's strawweight division and competing live on ESPN2, Jessica Penne.
Oh, her teammate.
There's another strawweight, Jessica Penne.
Former Invicta Atomweight champion.
116 pounds, the official weight for Jessica Penne.
116 for Jessica Penne. 116. Also a one-time UFC strawweight title challenger. I think people forget about her fight with Joanna. It's a Fight Pass exclusive back when that was a thing.
How much did Tisha Torres weigh in at? You remember?
115.
150.
115.
We have a
All right, next fighter to the scale, the other half of our co-main event. He is the king of Rio de Janeiro, former two-time UFC featherweight champion, José Aldo Jr.
Jose, the legend. The legend.
He's not even taking the shorts off. That calm.
You look so cool up there.
136, the official weight for the future Hall of Famer, José Aldo.
136 for Jose Aldo. Pedro Muñoz was made weight earlier, so that co-main event is ready to go. Co-main event is
All right,
ready to
next
go,
fighter to
guys.
weigh in this morning in the UFC's light heavyweight division, Alonzo Menifield.
Alonzo Menifield weighing in for his fight with Ed Herman.
This gentleman works out. analysis.
Official weight 204 and a half for Alonzo Menifield.
204.5 for Alonzo Menifield. I saw someone, the low red comment says, José Aldo looks like he doesn't want to do this anymore. He looked like that in his prime when he was at 145 at weigh-ins. He does not enjoy weigh-ins. That's definitely
who wants to cut weight?
I mean, some people look.
All right, moving on now to the
happy,
UFC's
like Angela
bantamweight
Hill, but-
division. Jamey Simmons.
But even when José Aldo was cutting 10 pounds less and in the at his prime of his career, he's always looked miserable at the scale. Hates, again, as most of us would, hates cutting weight. Here's Jamey Simmons.
136 pounds, the official weight for Jamey Simmons.
136 for Jamey Simmons, and he's good to go with his opponent, Johnny Muñoz. Something I caught in my throat there. I apologize.
Did you just break down? You just fell apart.
I just had, yeah, there's something, a spark just went up. Smoking the ears right now.
Oh, we got. I think we have a break. All right.
Don't say it. As soon as you say it, someone's gonna come strolling up to that scale.
Let me get these weights in now.
Okay. I was gonna say, yeah. Do you want to? We can throw that up in a second, but I'll let people know right now. We've had at least a dozen people weigh in. No issues with the scales so far. Knock on the proverbial wood. Oh, I actually have wood near me, which I will now knock on. And we are so far from the heavyweight interim heavyweight challengers, Derrick and Ciryl Gane, who likely will not be in a hurry. And but we do have our co-main event. They both gentlemen came in. José Aldo, 136. Pedro Muñoz, 135. So still waiting for a few other main card names. Chiesa, Vicente, Luque, Kenney, I think we're still waiting on. But otherwise, it's been a brisk, relaxing morning. You guys, I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
No? What? Mike, do you agree?
Mike.
I'm playing dad right
All right.
now.
All right,
it's not going well.
Okay,
So
okay.
I
Okay.
didn't hear what you said.
No worries. It was not a compelling question. So guys, we have the weights on the scale up on the screen right now. So people, no need to ask in the comments. Has so and so weighed in? Did anybody miss? Is this guy whatever? This graphic will pop up periodically. You can also, of course, always just go to MMAfighting.com. Our results posts will be updated regularly, and we'll be putting up. Hopefully, I'm not managing it at the moment, but there should be little clips of the guys weighing in earlier, and we will always, of course, replay the weigh-ins you guys are looking forward to. If you guys missed José Aldo, we'll have that clip for later. Pedro Muñoz, Tisha Torres, Angela Hill, whoever.
AK.
So yeah.
Can you read some weights off, AK? Come on.
I got it.
I was like, please take it away.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Again, just waiting for the melodious song.
Oh, no. Wait,
Yeah, of course.
This isn't.
Of course.
We're not at that part yet. We're at the
Oh, this is the basic one. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're still waiting on the main event for the interim heavyweight title. Co-main event is official. We got José Aldo and Pedro Muñoz. Aldo went in at 136. Pedro Muñoz 135. So let's do this correctly. That fight is now official.
There we go. Okay.
There it is. Tisha Torres and Angela Hill both weighed in 115 pounds. That fight is now official. Song Yadong weighed in at 135.5, still waiting for Casey Kenney. Bobby Green in at 156, still waiting on the hilarious Rafael Fiziev. Alonzo Menifield weighed in at 204.5, still waiting on the former Ultimate Fighter competitor Ed Herman, the wily veteran. Karolina Kowalkiewicz weighed in at 115. Jessica Penne weighed in at 116. That ESPN2 preliminary fight is official. Osbourne in at 125. Manel Kape yet to weigh in. Miles Johns yet to weigh in. Anderson dos Santos in at 135.5. Victoria Leonardo in at 125. She will take on Melissa Gatto, who's first to the scale. She weighed in at 124. That flyweight fight is official. And in the opening contest of the night at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, Johnny Muñoz weighed in at 135.5. He will take on Jamey Simmons, who successfully made weight at 136 pounds. That bantamweight contest also official. We send it back up to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, to the great Alexander Kaylee.
Now it's a weigh-in, guys. Now it's a weigh-in. Now that we've had our music, our official music, now it's a weigh-in. Guys, this card's looking good. This card's looking good. Of course, remember the Jose Young's axiom that nothing is official until the two gentlemen or gentlewomen step into the octagon and we actually see them fight. But so far, so good. We several fighters have made it past the first stage of making a fight official. So we will wait. Fingers crossed. Nothing happens Saturday morning, but we do know that fight day cancellations happen. They've happened recently, and they've happened quite a bit during this COVID pandemic, unfortunately. And some of these fighters have already had to deal with that. Angela Hill and Tisha Torres was previously scheduled for last year, I think, and Angela Hill tested positive for COVID-19. This Anderson Dos Santos Miles Johns fight was rescheduled because of COVID protocol. So something on I believe Anderson Dos Santos' side. I don't know if he got
All right,
himself.
next athlete is ready to weigh in.
Oh, here we go.
The UFC's bantamweight division. He is Miles Johns.
I knew it. I knew my blathering would make someone come up. Miles Johns.
The official weight, 136 pounds for Miles Johns.
136 for Miles Johns. His opponent, Anderson Dos Santos, also made weight. So that fight is now official.
All right, next fighter to the scale, also in the UFC's bantamweight division, Vince Morales.
What? You make me look like an idiot.
It's not difficult, I guess. It's not difficult.
Vince Vendetta Morales coming up to make 135.
136, the official weight for Vince Morales.
Vince Morales at 136. He successfully made weight. We're still waiting for his opponent, Drako Rodriguez. Fingers crossed for Drako. Mike, what is it here?
So, Drake, do you remember when Drako Rodriguez got a UFC contract and King of the Cage would not let him go?
Oh,
the reason he wasn't let go is because Drako Rodriguez, who was the King of the Cage bantamweight champion at the time, was scheduled to fight a surging Johnny Muñoz for the title. Johnny felt like he deserved that opportunity. The promotion felt like he deserved that opportunity. Apparently, they've been trying to put that fight together for a while. So when Drako, and apparently what had happened was Drako was not really sure if he was going to be ready in time to take that fight. There's about maybe do 150 or 145 because of the weight cut. And then Drako got the UFC opportunity. King of the Cage turned it down. And Johnny Muñoz is like, what the hell, bro? Like, we were supposed to fight for the bantamweight title. You said you couldn't cut down to 135 in, a month's time, but you can cut for a short notice fight in the UFC. So he was kind of puzzled by that whole thing. So I'm shocked that them try to put those two guys together with the story they have, but now they fight on the same card. So it wasn't like mind-boggling information, but still interesting.
Listen, in defense of Drako Rodriguez, he couldn't make the weight, apparently. He actually came in 4.5 pounds heavy for his UFC debut. So Drako was right in a way, but also wrong. He really, I mean, I think Johnny Muñoz's question is accurate. Gosh, I was gonna say I don't think Draco's UFC debut could have gone. I wasn't aware of that background, that controversy there, but his debut certainly could not have gone more poorly for him. Missed weight by 4.5 pounds. The fight still went through. He got knocked out, I think, in the first round by Ayman Zahabi. So hopefully better things for both Johnny Muñoz and Drako Rodriguez on this card. But you're right. We could expect a call out. Who knows? Let's say a big moment for Muñoz to start off the show. Maybe he calls him out. We'll see. So something to keep an eye on, guys.
Yeah.
There's apparently some heat there. We got a lot of Kape comments, Manel Kape comments in the YouTubes. Casey, I see one. Why is he so low in the card? And also, so someone's saying this is a must win. This is a must win for your boy. It's a EKC's boy. Okay, that's Ron Willie saying it's a must win.
Well, I mean, every fight's a must-win. And,
Okay.
every fight's the biggest fight of your life. And
Yes.
this is clearly the biggest fight on this card. So yes. It's a
Okay,
must-win.
sure. I don't think the weird thing is I still don't think he gets. Actually, no, he probably does. If he loses in a convincing way, I think he does just sit, right,
Why?
Casey?
But why? We have fighters we have a bunch of fighters that have lost like 10 in a row. It feels like, and they're still around. It's like I think he's lost 2 highly competitive fights. One fight, I would say 95% people thought he won, and yeah, so
I'm not in that 95%. I'm in the 5%. That put some respect on Matheus Nicolao's name. Come on now.
it was a competitive fight that
It was a competitive
Nicolau
fight.
lost, but there was
Okay.
a weird judge was all like, oh, he's holding him. So
Okay. It was a close fight. I did not think it was a robbery. I thought it was exactly textbook definition of a close fight. You're right. Many thought Kape won. I will acknowledge that. But we also have Kape ahead of in the MMAfighting.com global rankings, which you guys can find on MMAfighting.com. Manel Kape is ranked despite having no wins in the UFC, 0-2, giving him some love for his rise and work. Obviously,
AJ McKee is ranked. He has no wins in the UFC.
Okay, all right. Oh, we're saying it's. Oh, wait, that's the same thing. We're saying that's the same thing.
What? Because he's lost
Michael,
the age of 8 sides before. What are you talking about?
Michael, do you remember where you ranked Manel Kape in your personal rankings, if you did at all?
I believe I did. Come back to me. I have to see.
I know you're a Kape fan as well.
Probably like 12.
Okay, that's still pretty high.
Why would you rank him any lower?
What has he done lately?
Let me see where I had him. Where did I have him?
So if you lose your last
I had him at
fight-
15. I had him at 15.
15, so right in the edge. No, I need to see. Listen, I just don't think he's done more than on our rankings. He's ahead of David Dvorak and who's the other guy? He's I'm gonna mess up this guy's name. Karofov, who's also not competing in the UFC right now. Guys who've been in pretty impressive win streaks. Again, you could argue Kape's level of competition has been higher. You could argue that, but I also don't want to disrespect these other leagues these guys come from. But guys, this is the kind of fun.
Level of competition is all that
Go ahead.
matters. Is all that matters.
Does it now?
Competition is all that matters.
Oh, does it now? Guys, you guys can head to MMAfighting.com. Check out the rankings. This is we're only 2 rankings in, and I can comfortably say this is our most controversial rankings yet. But definitely check it out. Lots of friendly debate. We're all getting along here, guys. We have divisional rankings.
What's my new nickname?
We have
The Rogue Journalist.
Casey. I didn't want to out you for people who may have read but I think people could put 2 and 2 together here. And there was a people may find in our rankings. There's in the women's bantamweight division. There's 7 first place votes for Manel Nunes and 1 for Jermaine Durandamy. And we refer to it in the write-up as a rogue panelist. And I guess you guys can figure out who that rogue panelist is now. So Mr. E. Casey lied.
18 months. Manel Nunes made
It's
a
true.
choice. She made a choice. She fought 2 times at featherweight. If you're going to be a double weight champion, you got to fight frequently. That's the part of the package.
Now, we are going to make a more firm rule in the next rankings to make exceptions for 2 division champions, as long as they've been active in one of the divisions. But we did not have that.
I don't believe
We did not have that rule.
I don't believe
I'm not saying you did anything wrong, Casey. I'm saying we did not have that rule. But I think for the sake of common sense, I think it's good to have that rule. This is not just for her. Ryan Bader, Patricio Pitbull. We could leave it up to discretion, but it just causes such deviation in the voting that if we don't have some sort of rule, it makes us look insane. Like it makes the things look weird. So we'll discuss this. This is inside baseball stuff, which people listening could not care less about. So instead, let's talk about this main event. Mike,
I'm gonna talk.
we were doing the show. Casey, we're gonna do I can't wait for our show. We're gonna do people that will be a ranking show. Mike, on between the links, we had to Spencer and I had to rate how excited we were about the main event. I said an 8. Spencer's all the way up there in a 10. Mike, I don't recall. I think you did give a number, but you want to remind us what's your level of excitement 1 to 10 for Saturday's main event?
I'll give it like a 7, maybe a little lower. I mean, listen, I like the fight. It's an interesting matchup. It's the right fight to make. It's a glorified number 1 contenders fight. But for some, I don't think it's going to be an exciting fight. I just don't think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be one of those fights where Gane is going to do what Gane does from the outside until Lewis can try to land that big bomb. Like I think it's going to be a kind of slow paced fight until it ends. So either it goes 5 rounds and Gane wins another decision like he did 2 fights ago, or Derrick Lewis lands that big shot and that's it. Like I think the actual fight will not be that exciting. I think it could potentially end explosively, and I think the biggest intriguing factor in the entire fight is, will Derrick Lewis land that one shot? So like the intensity will be there, just waiting to see if Derrick lands that punch, but take that out of the equation, I don't think it's that exciting. I don't think it's gonna be that exciting of a fight. I just don't. For the rankings, I like it. For the division, cool, but I just stylistically, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's gonna be that exciting. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, but that's just sort of how I view it.
First, I want to say Al Mack is saying here you can argue that Manel Kape got robbed twice. No, you couldn't. The Nicolau fight, fine. The Pantoja fight, he definitely was not robbed. You guys can watch that one.
Nah,
again.
he lost that.
Mike, yeah, but Mike, the reason my score is higher is I actually like watching Ciryl Gane, and I got a bit of criticism, even from Dana White. I think Dana White was critical of the Rosenstrike fight, right? I don't think he loved the Rosenstrike performance. So I get it. From a casual standpoint, he's not as interesting as he potentially could be, but I actually like I actually do like that style. So slow pace to me does not equal necessarily boring, but I'm a boring person, so maybe that explains it. Casey, what are you? 1 to 10 for Saturday's main event?
5. 5, yeah.
Oh my good. Can we? I'm calling Spencer. Can we get Spencer? You know what? Can we get Spencer?
Okay, okay. If we're ranking fights, we're like say Lewis Ngannou, Lewis John Jones, Lewis Gane, I guess Lewis Stipe or whatever.
Sure. Okay.
There's 4 fighters I want to see Derrick Lewis fight before this fight, so that's why this is 10 out of 5 or 5 out of 10. Sorry. Oh, there.
5 out of 10. People in the chat.
All right, next fighter to the scale. He is the man around whom this fight card was built. The number 2 ranked heavyweight contender, Houston's own Derrick the Black Beast Lewis.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear here as Derrick Lewis. People in the chat, by the way, just put number 1 to 10 how excited you are for the main event.
264.5, the official weight for the Black Beast, Derrick Lewis.
264.5 for Derrick Lewis, 1/2 Saturday's interim heavyweight championship main event. Pulling the pants up for once. I'm seeing as high as 10 for the main event. I'm seeing John Guy coming in with a 3. He's just not having it. John Guy is not having this main event. 3 out of 10. Thank you guys. Keep chiming in. I like to know what you guys think, because we're in the.
Let me say this. Okay, I had this.
Oh, go ahead, please, Casey. Go.
A 5 out of 10 because, like I said, there's 4 other heavyweights I would rather see Lewis fight before this fight, but.
Okay.
Mr. Gane came out at the presser and he wore a DJ Screw shirt. One of Houston's most famous DJs ever. He wore a DJ Screw shirt. So what does that mean? I don't know. Was he just trying to play up to the hometown fans? I don't know. Is he a big screwhead? Is he listening to Chopped and Screwed records? Was he trading mixtapes back in the day in France? Like, I don't know. This is a big development. This changes everything. So, I mean, dude, Trade the Truth was front row. He's like one of the old school Houston rappers, and he's looking at this like, my boy's opponent is wearing my idol's T-shirt. That's just this changes. I don't know. This changes a lot.
6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. 6.5.
5.5.
5.5. That added 0.5. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good for sure.
Half point system. I'm bringing back.
We see Al Mack 8.33. He's using a 1,000 point system, so very granular. Flavor Aid 6.9, just short of a 7. Also, which is probably making a crude juvenile joke. Scott McCrate 7.5. Chrissy J saying 10. Feedback saying 6 or 7. So it's across the board. It's across the board, and I think like everyone has good reasons for either being excited or not being excited for the fight. I think, Mike, your assessment of how it'll play out pretty accurate. We've seen this in other Derrick Lewis fights with like Volkov. There are guys who are just more technical that know how to fight him a certain way, and just got to avoid the big kibosh, as it were. So I'm not against people who are poo-pooing it, but I've kind of fallen in the middle. Not quite at 10 level, but I think it's a good fight.
Are we over just being offended that this is an interim title fight?
I think you have to be. Yeah.
I was over it like 3 days later.
I still hate it. I still hate it.
It's just, I mean, I don't care. Like it's a number one contenders fight. The winner's gonna fight Francis Ngannou. They're gonna make more money. Derrick Lewis gets the hometown rub.
To the scale
I have
is
no
the
problem
man
with
with the longest uninterrupted tenure in the UFC at present. He is Ed Short Fuse Herman.
Oh gosh, that's right. As John Anik just pointed out, the longest uninterrupted UFC tenure right now, Ed Herman. He's been around for a long time.
So his strike force?
Is this the Boxer Redemption?
Well, it's the box of shame.
No.
Right now.
Well, at least he knows he needs it. That's actually good. I mean, that's probably a good sign. At least he probably knows exactly how much he weighs. So
Yeah, he's probably modest.
Yeah, exactly. I'm assuming he pretty much knows that what his weight is. He looks a little nervous though.
$205.5, the official weight for Ed Herman.
205.5. So I guess he really was sweating this one out, but half a pound under. Pound unders. Probably not as worried as he need to be. He did know that he would have to use the box of redemption in this situation to make it. Be back saying Ed Herman is on this card. Yes, Ed Herman is on this card. He is fighting for the how many? I just want to in total, not just UFC. His 42nd pro fight. 42 pro fights. His 24th UFC appearance. So just his eighth at light heavyweight. He was a middleweight for a very long time, but Ed Herman has been around, and he's reinvented himself as this kind of very exciting stand-up, just kind of brawler. At 205, used to be a lot of wrestling in his game at 185. Now he's kind of just staying and banging and living life, I guess. So good to see Ed Herman. I'm sorry. So Ed Herman has now made weight. His opponent Alonzo Menifield also made weight earlier at 204.5. So that fight is official. Thank you, Truck, for the subtle nod to prompt the music. We are still waiting on Ciryl Gane. We just saw Derrick Lewis come in. Again, anyone just tuning in, you have results on screen there. We will replay any major weigh-ins that you guys missed earlier, like José Aldo, Pedro Muñoz, both successfully making weight. Tisha Torres, Angela Hill, also on the main card. They've also successfully made weight. If there's any other weigh-ins you guys are dying to see, spam the chat, and I'm sure we can make it possible. Otherwise, of course, you guys can rewind on your own YouTube. We'll have highlights updated on MMAfighting.com. Let's talk a little bit. Oh, hold on. I've got a message from someone shouting in our business channel, guys. Okay, nothing important.
Business channel.
So let's talk. I don't know what else we need to say about. Casey, sorry, I should say, what is your prediction for the main event?
It's one of those kind of fights where you go, your brain says Ciryl Gane, your heart says Derrick Lewis. like logically, just from a technical standpoint, Ciryl Gane should outpoint Derrick with that, especially the big ass. I don't know why I call it the big cage. the big cage. That's what the UFC officials call it behind the scenes, the big ass cage, the big cage. And I think Ciryl Gane should. Win a competitive but overall lackluster 5-round decision.
Okay.
And the fans will be booing.
And sorry, Mike. And do you think that we get that Derrick Lewis magic, or do you think it's, as you said, maybe just Gane kind of dominating the action for the most part and getting that nod?
I am not ready to make my prediction just yet, but I will tell you how this fight's going to play out. There's two ways this fight plays out. Derrick Lewis knocks him out in the second round, or Gane wins 50-45. That's the only way. It's the only way this fight goes.
Damn.
One of those two directions.
It is hard to
because,
imagine
like
a
Casey
back and
said,
forth.
I don't know. I mean, I think Lewis will kind of like have his moments here and there, but listen, Ciryl Gane's got to fight a perfect fight for 25 minutes to beat Derrick Lewis. I don't think he makes a lot of mistakes, and as long as he doesn't make one, he'll win all 5 rounds. Like, he just will. But Derrick Lewis is just such a wild card because he literally in the first second to the final second, he just needs to land one shot. So it makes it interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's how this fight plays out. It's either going to be a 5-round decision, a pretty clear-cut decision for Gane, or Lewis is going to land that shot and knock his ass out. So I don't know where I'm at right now. I'm like right in the middle. It teeter-totter, but honestly, in my opinion, that's the only way this fight goes, is one of those two ways.
Tune in to the preview show later, guys, if you want Mike. Mike will have his mind made up by then, right, Mike?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So you got to tune in. Sorry, guys, I got to tease it. You got to tune to the preview show later to get Mike's final call. If you want to, for all you bettors out there who are holding your cash in your hands, like, Mike, what do I do? Guys, just wait a few hours later today. Mike will give you a money back guaranteed prediction.
Just don't look at my picks from last week from the UFC card or any of our picks.
Oh, God.
Anybody's picks.
Last week was horrible.
Ever.
What card? What card? What picks? What card? What picks?
Vegas 33.
What card? No, I don't know.
Yeah, I
don't remember.
I think I tied for first with like 2.5 correct answers. I mean, it was just brutal. That might have been the worst I've ever done with my picks.
It was. There was a lot of upsets. There was a lot of upsets. We can't be blamed for that. I think like half the card was upsets.
Half the card, I didn't even know who they were.
It was. Ron Willie wants to know, was the French reporter yesterday rude? One, yes, he was. But 2, I feel like he had to know he was setting Derrick Lewis up for that line. Like, as soon as the guy asked the question, I'm like, obviously here comes a pardon my French line, or excuse my French, however Derrick Lewis put it. So I do think that it was kind of an unprofessional question, but in a way, I think he did. I think he,
it was a
whether intentionally or not. You think I think so too, right? He's like, I'm going for a sound bite here. And we got a good one.
And it worked.
Which we knew was coming. We knew it was coming. We knew it was coming.
It's just like the pink jacket guy at the Connor.
Don't start.
It's like that guy.
Don't start with that guy.
You kind of you go over the top, but that became like the biggest. That became the biggest piece. Like the bad over the top question became like the big viral sensation hit. So
I'm not.
You're overselling that. That lasted like 40 minutes and it was over. Like, and then no one talked about it again until Anik wore a pink suit on the pay-per-view call, and then they brought it back up. But that thing faded so quickly. Like, remember, like Schmo, like when Schmo asked his question, that thing went. I mean, that thing went banana. Everybody was talking about. Everyone was sharing it. Everyone was like, and Dana's reaction was priceless. Pink shirt, pink suit guy. I mean, cool. You got your moment for like a half an hour, and then it was just gone. Like, it went so fast.
And that half hour is back again. We're talking about him now.
Oh, you brought him.
Well,
listen, I know.
You brought him up.
We all know who Pink Suit Guy is now.
I know, Casey. I know because you're so big on the TikTok and the Triller that you love when this stuff goes viral. You want Pink Suit Guy. You want to see him in the next Triller event. That's fine. But listen, rest of us adults, Casey, we're not so easily amused by these shenanigans. All right, you won't see me doing such a thing at a press conference. Okay, I asked normal, boring questions. Okay.
Hey Tisha,
what?
How's your training camp? Hey Derrick, how are you gonna beat Ciryl Gane? Yeah.
Could you do you have a message for your fans in Canada? Can you give a message for your fans in Canada, Derrick?
Hey Dana, when's UFC coming to Edmonton?
Yeah, exactly. When Edmonton, hold on. How about Vancouver? How about Toronto?
Nova Scotia?
Hey, listen,
Calgary.
I'm not. This sounds like we're taking digs at people in the media. No, listen. Like I said, we're all in this together.
No.
And we all have. There's all certain questions we got to run through sometimes with professionals. So it is what it is. But let's talk about the co-main. I think we got a bit of time before because that fight is official already.
Amanda Nunes versus Julia Pena.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yes, exactly. Yes. Nunes versus Juliana Pena, featuring the consensus, would have been featuring the consensus #1 bantamweight, which I think we can all agree on, Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. No, nothing. Okay, no. Obviously, that fight unfortunately was. That fight unfortunately was canceled. I would assume postponed, but we don't know. We don't know when Amanda Nunes will be back, and if the UFC wants to rebook that one, I'm assuming they will.
Pena said, like, can we rebook that for December? Dude,
and if they can't, she said just move on.
With that, so at what point why isn't there an interim bantamweight belt for the women? I don't understand.
I don't know. They should. They 100% should have.
There should be one tonight. They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have backup for Pena.
Yes.
And
don't they have? Oh, there's
right now.
Yes.
Should be fighting the co-main event against some other woman for the bantamweight interim belt.
This I agree on, Casey. This I agree on. And if let me tell you something. Whoever won tonight, I probably still wouldn't rank them above Nunes. But if you did that, if you or anyone else did that, I would be like,
I see what you're saying.
But I would be like, I'd be like, yes, someone has claimed a piece of bantamweight title, according at least to the UFC. Again, we don't just always go by everything the UFC says, but it would be a credential you could sort of like, a substantial credential. I guess they could. I mean, I will say it's not easy to find contenders at 135. Germaine de Randamie obviously would have been the option, rematch her and Pena, but maybe GDR doesn't even want to fight Pena again, or she's not ready to compete. So it's tough. But yes, if there was going to be an interim title fight in this card, it should have been the bantamweight title, not the UFC title, which was just changed hands a few months ago. But here we are. Instead, guys, let's talk about our current main event: José Aldo, Pedro Muñoz. 1 to 10, Mike. What's your anticipation for this fight?
11.5. I can't wait for this fight.
So good.
I can't wait. It's so good. It's just so good. Like I can't even sell it. I don't need to. All you need to say is José Aldo, Pedro Muñoz, and done. Sign me up. I'll pay $70. You josh me that fight and nothing else, I will pay $70. But it just turned out that the first 3 main card fights are pretty damn good. But that fight is phenomenal. That's my main event right there. Love it's just so good. I'm so fascinated by it. It could be a dog fight. Could just see 2 dudes just trading hard leg kicks for 15 minutes. I have a feeling we're going to be grimacing quite a bit watching those 2 guys go after it tomorrow night. I'm very excited for that fight.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal.
Look at John Anik rocking the New England Patriots shirt. Well done, sir. Well done.
Is there movement, Casey?
All right, next athlete to the scale, one of the best welterweights in the world. He has the number 6 next to his name at present, the silent assassin, Vicente Luque.
Actually, he has the number 9 next to his name in the MMA fighting rankings, John Anik, just for the record.
Right 170 pounds, the official weight for Vicente Luque.
170 for Vicente Luque, and who definitely wants to get one step closer to that title fight, and would with a win over Chiesa, who we are still waiting on. God, I had a thought, and now it's gone now. Don't you hate when that happens? It just completely left my head. It was a hilarious, brilliant thought too. I think no one will ever know what it was.
Are all the weights up to date?
Yes.
Do I have everyone up there? Am I missing anyone?
Do you have everyone up there? Yes, you do, sir. Yes, that is accurate. Yes, people, we have the weights up there and see everyone who's weighed in. Again, if you ever need to check in, the graphics on screen, MMAfighting.com. But yes, Vicente Luque, number 9 in our global rankings, facing Chiesa, number 7. So big fight. Definitely looking forward to that. Let's keep talking about Aldo and Muñoz. Casey, what's your 1 to 10 for this fight?
I mean, I know it's going to be a good fight because it's Pedro Muñoz and José Aldo, but I'm actually, I mean, I don't know, just I guess it's missing that heat, that kind of high stakes. So I mean, I think it's a good fight, and I'm excited about it. But I don't think it's really a co-main event for a pay-per-view. But it wasn't originally a co-main event, so that's not the UFC's fault. But it's just I'm excited for it. I'm always excited to watch Aldo. He's just as good at 35 as he was at 45. So yeah, I'm just not over the top, but I think I want to see Aldo. I kind of want to see Aldo versus like we have limited fights with these gentlemen, so like I want to see Aldo versus Aldo versus sorry, I forgot his name. Dominic Cruz, things like that.
Dominic Cruz,
yeah. The fights like that would just I feel like we're never gonna get a chance to see, even though I don't feel either of those guys are at their prime, but I still want to see it. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't know how many more fights we have from Aldo or Cruz.
Casey, what if there was an interim title on the line? Would that sweeten the spot for you a little bit? 5-rounder interim title.
It has been 3 months, right? How long's it been?
Again, we haven't. They haven't rescheduled. Oh no, they did. They do have a tentative date for Sterling out, so we shouldn't say. It is.
All right, next athlete is ready to weigh in the UFC's bantamweight division. Drako Rodriguez.
Drako Rodriguez coming out again. Came in on short notice last time and missed weight quite badly, so hopefully he'll do better this time around.
Box.
No, he looks all right.
£136, the official weight for Drako Rodriguez.
Casey, what did he say? Do we know? Unnecessary fist pose? Okay.
Ooh, it's very necessary.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you had a tag the tour of his shorts just before. I was like, what was that? Casey, what did he say? Did you hear what else he said?
Oh, he just want to do all the poses. He's embracing it. He's embracing his time up there.
Yeah.
These are special moments in their lives. You want to soak it all in. So that's what Draco's doing right now.
Yeah. Well, he made 136. Like I said, he missed last time. He didn't really get to celebrate making weight last time. So 136 for Drako Rodriguez, and his fight with Vince Morales is now official. Who are we waiting on now, Casey? I know, of course, we're waiting on Ciryl Gane, Michael Chiesa. What else we got here? Casey Kenney, Rafael Fiziev, and the star of the show, Manel Kape.
There wasn't any. Okay. I was sensing sarcasm, but maybe I could be off. You meant that, right?
Me, I would never. I do not dabble in sarcasm. I would never do such a thing.
Say it again then.
No, I think we can move on. Mike, what other? I think I assume you're like Spencer and myself, and picking Aldo Muñoz as the de facto fight of the night can. Apparently not Casey. Casey is not enthused about it at all. What other fights do people need to look out for here?
In both featured prelim fights should be absolutely wild. Bobby Green, Rafael Fiziev is a really good fight. I'm really interested to see what Fiziev does against a wily veteran, a guy with over 40 pro fights like Bobby Green's a really interesting style matchup. And Fiziev is such a character. So I really like that fight. And I really like, not to steal Casey's thunder, but I really like the Manel Kape Ode Osbourne fight. I think it's such a wild fight. And I feel like Osbourne brings the kind of style to the table that makes Kape comfortable. You know what I mean? Like the just sort of wild style, like, makes Ode is a risk taker. Kape is also a risk taker. So something crazy is going to happen in that fight. I just think stylistically, there's no way it's a letdown. I hate to be that guy to have to knock on wood, but I don't need to with that fight. I think the styles make an absolute insane fight between those guys. Those are the two that really stick out to me.
Yeah, this is the right kind of matchup that I think we've all been looking for Kape to really showcase his skills, because his first fight was Pantoja. It was crazy. Pantoja, arguably a top 5 flyweight in the world. And then Nicolau, I think people like had kind of forgotten how good Nicolau was. Nicolau is coming back from a long layoff, super tough opponent. Very tricky stylistic matchup for Manel Kape. So, I mean, it was good. Of course, they thought very highly of Kape coming in. So you want to give him proper matchups, and it's not like the flyweight division is the deepest in the UFC. So if you're gonna fight a tough opponent, it's gonna be a top 15 guy. There's just no avoiding it. But I do like they've given a little bit of a step back here. Very talented guy in O'Day, but at the same time, someone who I would assume Kape would be favored against. Let me take a quick look at the odds here, Mike, unless you know them off the top of your head.
I got you. Don't you worry. Manel Kape, a minus 195 favorite.
Okay, so almost 2-1. Almost 2-1. Pretty significant favorite, as he should be. I would think. I would think in this matchup he would be at least close to 2-1. Again, this is no disrespect to O'Day. It's just that Kape is has hype behind him for a reason. And if you ask Casey, he should be like a 10-1 favorite. But I think he'll settle. He'll settle for 2-1.
In our hearts, but they have to fight,
I should say I don't we shouldn't care about these rankings, but is Kape? I assume he is in the UFC rankings
are we going
as well.
Kape? We going Manel Kape?
Is
that the official Manel Kape? I don't like that.
I asked him the last time I interviewed him.
Yeah.
And he said I was like, listen, I've been calling you Manel Kape because I've been interviewing Manel Kape for 5 years, and I always called him Manel Kape, and he never corrected me, and no one ever corrected me. So then I heard it on the broadcast, Manel Kape. So I just had to ask him, like, dude, is it Kape or Kape?
All right.
And he goes, it is Kape. So he gave us the official answer.
He said, no cap, it's Kape.
All right.
I was just trying to be young and hip. I don't know. You know what that means. He is not currently in the UFC's inferior official rankings. The bottom, number 15, Tyson Nam. Number 14, Amir Albazi. Number 13, Sumit Erci. And number 12, the last person who beat Kape is Matthias Nicolau. So he's outside the rankings. I guess he's outside my rankings too, but he wins tonight. We'll see where he moves up in the rankings, which you guys can find on MMA Fighting.
These eyes cannot roll anymore. I'm like, oh.
Oh, you guys and your wins and losses. Gosh, that's all it is. That's all it is with guys.
This is martial arts. Martial arts is about winning and losing, man. It's about
winning and
punishment.
Look, I keep getting ignored. I put Ryan Hall at the top of the 145 rankings, so I guess I really can't pick any bones with anybody. But this is a good looking card. The card overall, guys. Casey, give me a rating out of 10 for the card overall. Are you more excited by anything that you have a different perspective on too? You've been on site. You've kind of felt the energy, of a live show.
Well, when you ask me my rating, how I rate this, I have to kind of go by two standards. Is it worth a fan paying $70? Yes. It's a good card. If you got $70, go for it. This isn't the card you have to see. Just because it's an excellent fight night card. It's an excellent fight night card. This is like the original UFC on Fox cards were this good. That's what I feel this is.
Yeah, I think you're right. When it comes to pay-per-view, it's like really a 3-point rating system. It's like should you order this? No. If if it's within if you got some extra cash, and then definitely, really, that's really it, right?
But I do enjoy the free prelims. Actually, outside of the first two fights, just because they're kind of new to the UFC, I just don't know very much about them. But after the first two fights, I have interest in all the fights, and Fiziev is fighting, and I think he's I don't know if he's ever gonna fight for the title, but I think he's going to be in the UFC a very long time just because of his great personality and his high action. He's just an incredibly fun fighter to watch. And I'm interested.
All right, next fighter to the scale is one of the top 5 welterweights in the world, competing live on pay-per-view here tomorrow night. Michael Maverick Chiesa.
All right.
Up 7. If anyone didn't hear that, we'll explain what is happening after.
170.5 pounds, the official weight for Michael Chiesa.
170.5 for a very happy Michael Chiesa. He is on weight fight with Vicente Luque, who also weight.
Where is it?
All right, next fighter to the scale is the other man around whom this fight card was built, set to compete in our main event for the UFC's interim heavyweight title, Ciryl Gane.
Did I miss the music there for
No,
Chiesa?
actually, AK, we didn't hear any of that. Your audio dropped out for the last 20 seconds.
Audio dropped out. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Okay. We'll get back. We'll recap everything that just happened there in a second. But here comes Ciryl Gane.
Looks like a man just rolled out of bed and stepped on the scale.
Weighing in with shoes. High tension. High tension.
247 pounds, the official weight for Ciryl Gane. Your UFC interim heavyweight championship main event is official.
247 for Ciryl Gane, and as John Anik just said, the Saturday interim heavyweight championship now official.
Wait, what is it? Wait, hold on. God dang it. It's official.
Chiesa Luque is also official.
Oh, dang. Hold on. Wait, I gotta put the weight in. What do you mean? Wait, what was once? Okay, now you can say
I'm
it.
not
Okay.
going on until.
Okay, say it.
Well, Chiesa and Vicente Luque is now official. Seamless. Seamless.
What a professional operation. I love it.
What's going on? What's going on with my hair?
You know how much I'm doing? Look at with,
I know, dude. I know.
You are such a yes, you're
If
a
you-
beast. You're a beast. No one.
If
no
you
one
had
is,
nailed-
it's doubting that.
If you had nailed that after Anik said it, that would have been the G-est of G moves of all time.
I was ready, but Anik's on a team MMA fighting. He's on team MMA fighting.
Sure he is.
I'm looking at him right now.
He's been on what the heck like 41 times.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
Sorry, so we wanted to explain. If you guys just saw, there was a bit of a laugh with the Chiesa when he stepped up to the scale. What happened? What happened there exactly?
Oh, it's just
He bait.
yeah.
Good.
Oh, the commissioner, I think, was adjusting the scale, because I think we had like a 35 round before. He was like, "Don't move it to 55."
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
That was,
there was a bit of fear in his eyes. Like he's like, "Oh man."
I cannot believe that guy made 155 ever.
I
like
don't know
even
how.
once.
He looked
Monstrous.
Horrible. He looked horrible. He looked like a different person. It was just, I think even like Tim Means used to make 55. You know,
It's insane.
So then he passed out almost. He bit in a sauna. So but what was it? The Kevin Lee fight that Chiesa finally went up after that, or was it another fight?
It's the Anthony Pettis fight, I think.
It's the best. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, those lightweight days are long behind him, so just having a little laugh up there. Okay. Thank goodness he doesn't have to worry about that. 170 is where he belongs, and he's a legitimate contender there. I just want to say in the comments, some are asking, do they think Kape is maybe going to miss weight? He has so much time, guys, to weigh in. I think it's not even close to
Yeah, we're not
speculating whether he won't make the weight. That we're literally, guys, there's an hour left to go. These guys are maybe just taking their time, maybe having a little bit of a last second cut, but I wouldn't be too concerned. Scotty Buckets. Whoa! Scotty Buckets is making fun of our pronunciation of Gane's first name. I don't know, Scotty. I don't know how you pronounce it, buddy, but it is Ciryl. Ciryl. See, he says I've been saying Sidal. No, buddy, you roll your R, man. Ciryl.
Ever since Sadal.
Sadal.
Huh?
Sadal?
I think maybe I was rolling. I might have been rolling my R a little too hard before and overpronouncing, but I'm definitely not messing up Ciryl Gane's name. I may be the only one in the industry pronouncing his name correctly. Al Max, settle down. Al Max has been spamming nonstop Manel Cop Starboy comments. Okay, yes, he will. Guys, he's got an hour. Everyone settle down. We are under an hour, Mike. I do think it's maybe time for another rundown of the weigh-ins.
Oh, let's do it.
Perhaps.
Okay, hold on.
Is it music time?
All right, and Mr. Heck, whenever you're ready.
And well, as we wait the music, so make sure you go through old UFC 265 archive videos on MMAfighting.com to find out how you can order UFC 265 yourself. Right here with us at MMAfighting.com. The main event for the UFC Interim Heavyweight Championship of the Universe. Derrick Lewis weighed in at 264.5 pounds. Ciryl Gane weighed in at 247 pounds. They are good to go. Co-main event, phenomenal fight. The former featherweight champion José Aldo back at bantamweight, weighted at 136. Pedro Muñoz 135. Alonzo, Chiesa and Vicente Luque good to go. Chiesa in at 170.5. Luque at 170 on the nose. Tisha Torres and Angela Hill both weighed in 115 pounds for their main card opener. Yadong weighted at 135.5. Still waiting on Kenney. Bobby Green, one of the earlier weigh-ins, weighed in at 156. Still waiting on Rafael Fiziev. You can actually check out my interview with Rafael on YouTube right now. Vince Morales and Drako Rodriguez weighed in at 136 each. Alonzo Menifield weighed in at 204.5, taking on the wily vet, former Ultimate Fighter finalist Ed Herman, who weighed in at 205.5. Karolina Kowalkiewicz weighed at 115 for her fight with Jessica Penne. She made weight at 116. Still waiting on Starboy Manel Kape. Takes on Osbourne, who weighed in at 125. Miles Johns, 136. Fighting in his home state of Texas. Taking on Anderson dos Santos, who weighed in at 135.5. Victoria Leonardo, Contender Series contract winner, 125 pounds. Takes on the woman who stepped on the scale before anybody else this morning. Melissa Gatto weighed in at 124. And Johnny Muñoz, 135.5, takes on Jamey Simmons, who weighed in at 136. That will be the opening fight of the night in the UFC's bantamweight division. Back up to Toronto to Alexander K. Lee.
Thank you. As Al Max has put in the comments. Thank you, Mike Heck on Smooth Jazz FM in Boston. That was a great read. Oh, Mike, why don't you tell people while we're here? I know we want to talk UFC. Can you do you mind plugging you are doing a gig Saturday, correct, in Massachusetts?
Yes, I will be. I'm be doing some double duty. So I will be around for assistance on the main card, and I will be around for the post-fight stuff, and helping out the social squad at the end. But before that, I'm going to be doing some ring announcing at the legendary Big E in Springfield, Mass. New England promotion Ammo Fight League is back after a sort of a long layoff due to COVID and everything. I think this is the first card they've had in about 2 years, and it should be a lot of fun. A lot of amateur fights, a lot of up-and-coming guys. There's a pro welterweight main event. Connor Barry is one half of that fight. He's a guy that a lot of people in New England have been excited about. A lot of people feel like he could get a shot on the Contender Series with the win. Connor's a tough dude. So it's going to be a good card. And normally with these cards, it comes with a lot of coaches, a lot of corners who you might recognize. Nick Newell, who I talked to yesterday, will definitely be there. I've seen Glover Teixeira at every single one of these events, and other UFC fighters as well, past and present. So come on out. It's very reasonably priced. I think the online tickets are no longer available. They sold a whole bunch of them. So come tickets at the door at the Big E, and the venue is massive. There's a restaurant and a bar with inside of it. So you'll be good to go. Food, drink, fist fighting, and me on the ring announcing. So come join us. Doors open at 4 and the first fight's at 5. So you'll be out of there just in time to the main card for UFC 265.
That sounds amazing. Mike. If you love listening to Mike, just imagine him doing his Bruce, getting his Bruce Buffer / Joe Martinez / I guess you're also the in-ring interviewer as well, correct?
I don't know. I haven't done it before. Okay, usually they bring somebody else in to do that, but I'm certainly down to be a part of that as well.
Either you're definitely Buffer Martinezing it. I assume there might not be a way to stream it. Do you know if they have a Facebook page, if they'll stream on Facebook, anything like that, or if there's even a pay-per-view option for this card?
There's not, but I'm sure
Okay.
sure some videos will pop up, and if I get them, I'll share them, and you guys can see my ring announcing. I haven't done it in so long, so I'm a little nervous, but yeah.
But there you go.
It's just me, but just turned up to 10 a little bit.
If you are in the New England area, please check it out, guys. It'll be tomorrow, and again, you'll be, as Mike said, you'll probably be home in time to catch the main card of this pay-per-view, and you know, what a night of fight, what a day of fights you can make it. But Mike, that sounds awesome. We are now, as you just did the rundown as well, still just waiting on Kenney, Rafael Fiziev, and Manel Kape. As far as I know, none of these gentlemen have missed weight in the past. If I'm wrong, people, please feel free to in the comments. Not to say that it can't happen, but just letting you guys know. Again, I don't see anyone with a history, and we have plenty of time, just under an hour to go. Look, guys, let's talk about some of the other storylines going on in here. Everyone's kind of asking. The most common question I see is Manel Kape one loss away from possibly being released? Again, we think it's kind of doubtful. He's an exciting fighter. He's a big name. If it's a competitive fight, they probably keep him. One name that is definitely in danger will be Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who I think has lost 4 straight fights. Yes, she's a popular fighter. She did contend for a UFC title once upon a time. She hasn't won a fight since April 2018. So, Mike, however she loses, even if it's a fight of the night to Jessica Penne, is this the last we're going to see of Double K in the octagon?
I mean, I guess it just kind of depends on how she loses. She still has a name. She's still former title challenger. I mean, look, Jessica Penne came back. She lost 3 straight, and you can argue that she lost to Luque Godinez as well. So, yeah, I would say 65-35, yes, but I'm not willing to say that the UFC will just completely part ways with her. I think she's got a good following. She brings some eyeballs. She's not difficult to look at, and she's got a bit of a name. So unless she gets the doors blown off of her, there's a chance she gets cut, but I don't think it's like 100% she would be.
Casey, you always bring up the point, of course, about level of competition, and she's faced nothing pretty much but killers. Jessica, so the loss that started off the streak, Jessica Andrade, that was a brutal knockout, and then Michelle Watterson, Alexa Grasso, Yan Xiaonan, all fighters in the top 15, I believe, time that they fought. Kowalkiewicz, and now Jessica Penne, maybe not ranked right now, but a former one-time UFC strawweight title challenger. Again, not an easy out. Do you think that they're going to take that into account, Casey, if Karolina does lose on Saturday, as far as keeping her on the roster or not?
I think they would take. Right now, Jessica Penne at her career is at toward the bottom end of the strawweight division. So if Karolina loses, considering maybe her price tag, and they have to fly her in from Poland, that's all it's a money thing. If the UFC just doesn't feel she's affordable anymore, that could be a possibility. But Karolina, clearly, win or lose, unless she just looks completely out of it tomorrow, she's obviously still, to me, a UFC strawweight caliber fighter. It's just, is she worth the money for the UFC? And that's the issue. But I hope, even if she loses tomorrow night, I still want to see her fight again. Karolina is always exciting to watch, and yeah. But yeah, there's a definite risk. I mean, it would be 5 in a row.
Yeah, it would be 5 in a row if she loses on Saturday, which is normal. Again, there have been cases where fighters have stayed on, but without like usually a division, like a change of divisions. If it's all in one division, it's usually you're out.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. In her last losses, they haven't been like close competitive fights. She's kind of got right. She's kind of got her butt kicked the last couple of times.
The last fight was pretty
close.
Decisive.
Yeah,
she took a lot of damage in that fight too. I think it was almost as regrettable as the Andrade knockout. I think afterwards, she took a lot of damage in that fight.
Yeah,
and it had a lot of people questioning would she even continue fighting? It was that kind of lopsided. But as you said, yeah, she's certainly a likable fighter and a popular name. It's just I do wonder. I was going to ask Casey, in these situations, and we've talked about these this way about other fighters before. Do you wish the UFC had more of like a system where, if a fighter loses against top competition a couple of times, but they're still a name, maybe knock them, like have them face a few people outside the rankings, bring in names just to see where they are, like, face some up and comers or lesser known fighters? Or do you think that once you reach this level, you have to keep fighting in your range of ranking?
No, option one. Like if it really depends on how the promotion views that fighter. Because remember, this isn't a league. We call it a league, but it's not. It's a promotion. So unless that fighter, moves the needle enough for the UFC, they're gonna get rid of them. That's why Liz Carmouche is not in the UFC. I have her ranked as the second best strawweight in the world, and she's not in the UFC after losing a title fight, which is pretty much unheard of. But she doesn't move the needle enough. So it doesn't really matter how good Karolina is. It's just how the promotion views her, and just from her skill set, she should still be around. But but as far as the booking, I think this is a good booking. Yeah, I think this is because I know Jessica Penne doesn't have too many years left in her fighting at this level. So I think for Jessica Penne, it's like, yeah, I'll fight her. It's still a big name in the strawweight division. And if Jessica Penne wins, if Jessica Penne wins Saturday night, all of a sudden she's probably like two fights away, from we'll go, hey man, Jessica Penne, another title shot, who knows? If Karolina wins tomorrow, I think it's just more like she'll keep treading water with the UFC. I don't think we're gonna see, no matter what Karolina does tomorrow, we're not gonna go, okay, she's back. But I think just getting a W for Karolina is absolutely the most important thing for her.
Yeah, I think at this point she'll take treading water. I'm sure her team will take treading water. Mike, do you think there's any chance we see a retirement, like a go out on top retirement if she picks up a win?
Karolina?
Yeah, Karolina. She'll be 36 in October. She's been fighting for a long time. She's been fighting for about 9 years now. Again, not just in MMA. Of course, she's been fighting in other combat sports as well. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think win or lose? Do you think there's a chance we may see her just retire from competition?
I don't know. It's always like a tough question to answer because you never know what fighters are thinking. But I think if the road she took to get back after the beating she took against Yan Jonan, you have to imagine that you're trying to make a run at this if you're going to come back from that. She had some injuries, some pretty bad ones. I'll say no. I mean, who knows? If she gets caught, maybe she'll make that decision after. But I don't think so. I think we'll still see her. I think she's still got a little hunger left.
And also, it just like what Mike said. It really depends on that hunger, and because if she loses, she loses half her paycheck. I don't know her financial situation. At some point, she has to think about her bank account and what she's going to do for the rest of her life. And after a loss, with all the travel costs and training fees, yeah, is it going to be just viable for her to still do this just to be, a mid-tier strawweight? And yeah, that's going to be a very personal decision for her.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bring everyone down with this question. I will read some positive comments. Scotty Bucket saying, Karolina can retire in peace. She has a win over the current champ. He says GOAT, probably somewhat facetiously, but she does have a win over Rose Namajunas from about 5 years ago, UFC 201. Split decision nod over Namajunas. And Almax says, UFC relegation system, good call, AK. I wish that like American sports in general didn't have such a stigma with the word like relegation, because I do think would be helpful in a lot of sports. The NBA just kind of started doing that with the G League. Of course, the baseball is minor leagues forever. And I don't know any situation where it's made a league worse. So I wish UFC would have some, especially considering all of its ties it has with all these other promotions, to just Karolina, go down, go fight in Invicta for a couple of fights and things like that. You're still under UFC contract. The UFC is still paying you a UFC salary, but you can go face a kind of a different level of competition and, bring your name to it. And then you help the promotion out. You bring your name to another promotion and help them. So it would really be a beneficial system for everybody, but it would also kind of require this creativity that I don't think the UFC is necessarily interested in engaging in, if that's fair to say.
Just to put the energy into, yeah. You know, I just,
Yeah, and
I just,
I don't think they do this enough on the Contender Series. I like the developmental contracts that they dole out.
Yes.
You need to dive into that more. Like Chase Hooper probably could have used a little more seasoning. I like Chase,
Yep.
dude. I mean, he had a fun scrap in his debut. He's got a couple of nice wins. But I would like to see him. I would like to have seen him just kind of grow up a little bit more on the developmental side. William Knight's out as an opportunity to just like keep fighting as much as possible. So he would like take fights every couple of months. I feel like they didn't dish out enough of those, and they're bringing these guys in way too quickly, and we don't get to. Some rise to the occasion right away, some don't, and it's kind of tough to gauge. So, but I think like in Karolina's case, once you get to that point, you have several fights and you fight for a title, like you're not developing anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of hard to put you back down to Invicta and be like, hey, you're still under contract with me. But for these developmental deals, I wish they would sort of like mix it up a little bit. Like if for some reason you want to
competing in our featured prelim live on ESPN2 in the UFC's lightweight division, Rafael Fiziev.
To be continued. You're talking about developmental, the possibility of not necessarily developmental, but another for up and coming fighters. To be continued. This is Fiziev coming up.
he pulled a sneaky one.
top knot.
155.5, the official weight for Rafael Fiziev.
155.5 for Rafael Fiziev. His fight with Bobby Green is now. It is official, right? I forgot Bobby
Yes.
Green. That fight's official, kids. Seamless. Guys, we've been so on today. It's ridiculous, like how connected we are. Like Casey, it's almost like we're finishing each other's.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, sorry, Casey. I thought you were with. Okay, well, man, we are seamless. Just seamless today. It's really on point. Mike, please continue. You were saying it doesn't necessarily make sense for veterans to be kind of like put on quote unquote developmental deals, but for like Contender Series guys, sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, it shouldn't. I'm just saying it shouldn't be one or the other. Like you should, if there's like an interesting matchup you could throw on a UFC card, great. But that doesn't mean like you are stuck in the UFC for the next 3 or 4 fights. Like you should be able to sort of go back and forth if you're under a developmental deal. Like you could still have a UFC fight as long as you fight someone with similar experience and skill set. But you should still be able to, you know, if you want to stay active and stay busy, if you're under that deal, you should still be able to go onto the regional scene or, you know, fight for Titan or CES or organizations like that. Like if you want to stay active and continue to develop, I have no problem with that. Same thing with Major League Baseball. Like guys will get called up, fill a role, and then they'll get sent back down to AAA or AA. I think the UFC could do something very similar with some of these up and coming fighters and build some more very important experience. I mean, for instance, like I talked to Bobby Nash the other day, who had 3 fights in the UFC 2017. All of them were like travel fights, short notice fights. Like I don't think either of those 3 fights were in the US at all. And he lost all 3 of them. He got released and he just never really had the chance to like develop within the system. He just got thrown into 3 fights that he probably shouldn't have taken because they're not ideal. And, you know, now he's with XFC. He's developing himself. He's found his own sort of niche and love for the sport in his own way. But he never really got a chance to develop that when he was in the UFC as a young up-and-coming prospect. So I think they should dole out a lot more of those developmental deals. And in fact, I think they could compete with Bellator too in that sense, because Bellator will just lock these guys up, especially these young guys coming out of high school and college, these really good wrestlers, and they'll just lock them and let them get better in 2 years before they throw them out there in a fight. Sometimes it works. Sometimes, you know, maybe you throw them into a situation where Aaron Pico against Zach Freeman, probably not the best idea to throw him in there with a veteran and a guy like that. But still, I think like the UFC could lock some of these guys down, these really exciting prospects, and just like let them develop on their own time, even in the octagon or out of it. And you can just keep them developing however you want. 8 fights, 10 fights, however you want to do it until they're like ready to go.
Yeah,
How much more fun would MMA be if that was the case? Eh? Like, this is such a fun idea, and I just want to do wish they would implement. Sorry, Casey, you were gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I was look at Bellator. AJ freaking McKee. They signed him. His first fight was in Bellator, right? Oh boy.
Oh, there he is.
Oh my God, troll,
Mr. Legitimate Question.
Oh, it's Mark the legitimate question, Ramandi.
So many award nominees and award winners in our
What a
presence.
star-studded,
amazing.
What a star-studded cast.
All these guys are just they're handing me their resume. They're like, "Hey, is MMA fighting hiring?" It's like, oh,
that's awkward.
Yeah,
that's awkward.
I'm like, "Hey,
that is awkward.
We have an HR department."
You're like, guys, not very professional. Not very. This is already a bad sign. This is like, come on. This is all.
Yeah, I mean, you know how many LinkedIn emails I just got from Mark Armandi today? It's crazy.
Stop it, Casey. Stop it. You're gonna get MMA Twitter. It takes stuff very seriously. MMA Twitter's me talking. Stop it. But yes, it would be so much more fun if we could see that because Mike, I like the point you brought up with the wrestlers, like a Tyrell Fortune or someone like that, or oh gosh, what was the name? Who was the guy in the featherweight? Taiwan Claxton, something like that. Like these are guys who they brought in really, really young, and and could guide their own way. Imagine if
they got Lima and she was like 1-0 or 2-0. You know, you know, it's like
imagine if they had done a similar thing with like a Sage Northcutt or a Paige Van Zandt. Maybe there's no world where either of those two, become world champions. But I will tell you now, without a doubt, that the way they did kind of quote unquote develop them or not develop them as it were could only be detrimental to their careers. Could only be like these are guys who like you said, if there was a way to keep them on a developmental deal and building up their name in smaller promotions, it would have been so much for their skills. Because I just think people really underestimate if you look at how champions are brought up. If Khabib Nurmagomedov was brought to the UFC after like his 6th or 7th fight, I'll tell you something, he probably does not become the greatest of all time. Probably not. He didn't come to the UFC until he was something like what, fifth, maybe like fourth, I think even later. He has something like almost 20, maybe 20 pro fights before he finally came to the UFC, something like that. So its development is so important. Yes, there has to be that base. There has to be a special talent like a Khabib to do that. But there's certainly ways to usher maybe lesser talented folks along to maximize their potential. And I think we all agree the UFC just really struggles with that. And it's not an issue for them because they're the biggest company in the world and they can just sign the best talents at the end of the day anyway. So developmental is secondary, unfortunately.
I got 2 words.
Please.
2 words to take this argument home. Ready? Strike Force.
Mike, do it.
Strike Force Challengers. Strike Force Challengers. Look at the names that came out of freaking Strike Force Challengers.
Run it down.
The first event, the first Strike Force Challengers event in the co-main event, Sarah Coppin versus Misha Tate. First Strike Force Challengers event. That was the co-main event.
Pretty good careers.
Good fight.
Pretty good careers.
Yeah, two pretty good careers. Second one, Tim Kennedy. Sarah Coppin, Shayna Baszler. I don't know. A guy by the name of Luke Rockhold competed on the second Strike Force Challengers card.
I've heard of him. He's fighting I've heard of him.
Third one, main event. A couple guys you might have heard of. Tim Kennedy once again against Zach Cummings, now in the UFC. Mm-hmm. The third to last fight, I don't know. I think this guy found some success. Tyron Woodley. I don't know if you ever heard of that guy. I think he became a champion. He's about to box Jake Paul or something like that.
He's a boxer. The boxer. Okay. I was like Tyron Woodley, the boxer. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, guys like Daniel Cormier, Tarek Safadine. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Lorenz Larkin.
Rousey didn't do challenges though, right?
Yes, he did.
She did.
Sarah D'Alio.
Okay.
Amanda Nunes knocked her debut and she knocked out Julia Budd in like 10 seconds. Ronda Rousey, I think, got Sarah D'Alio like in like 30-second armbar. Liz Carmouche was a challengers fighter. Yeah.
And how long ago was this? Like how many years ago was this?
DC made his first
2009, 2010.
Yeah. DC's first 2
so
or
like
3 fights
over 10 years ago.
Stars, yeah.
And with the exception of Kennedy, Rousey, and Cormier, a lot of those guys you named still fighting today, still making money and having success in the business today. So that really goes to show you how important development is. And again, some of the names I mentioned, maybe that'll be the same case for them too. Maybe Sage Northcutt is still fighting like 10 years from now. Maybe Paige Van Zandt still fighting in some form, bare knuckle or MMA or kickboxing, whatever, 10 years from now. But it's really like the guys you mentioned are fighting at the UFC level. Like they're still, Zach Cummings is in the UFC right now. Kenney retired, but Julia Budd is in Bellator, was a champion in Bellator.
And let's be honest.
Chris Gritzmacher was a Force Challengers guy. He just fought last week. He got a win.
He just fought last week, right? So development is so important, and I hope we do reach a day where there's the UFC uses their resources and influence to implement this kind of developmental effort. But again, I wouldn't hold my breath because they don't really need to at this stage of where the UFC is. They don't need to. That's the fact. That's the fact. So, while I think it's a cool idea, for me to say the UFC has to do it is not accurate.
But can you imagine, like, if the UFC, like, I like what they're doing. I love the Contender Series. Outside of like some really good fight cards, I think the Contender Series is the best thing. Is my favorite thing the UFC does. I love the Contender Series. Ultimate Fighter. I know you and I have differing opinions on the Ultimate Fighter, AK. I just feel like I feel like we're in the Twilight Zone watching the Ultimate Fighter. Like the cameras they use may be better, and we're watching 4K, bro. But like the show has not changed at all since the first season. It's the same thing.
No, that's not true. It's changed a lot. It hasn't changed since the 16th season. It has changed actually quite a bit for the first season. But it hasn't changed in the last like 10 years.
All right, next
so get your facts straight, Mike. It's only a 10-year-old scale show.
Card on what is a busy night for the UFC's bantamweight division, Kenney.
Uh-oh.
Here is my favorite Casey in the MMA world, Kenney, coming up. We're going to weigh in at 135. Let's see how he does here.
I think we're getting the boxer redemption here.
Yee.
You know, AK, I do have feelings. AK. I'm just saying.
I know.
Ooh. 136 pounds, the official weight for Kenney.
136 for Kenney. So he makes it. He did need the box of redemption and evidence of the non-championship limit. There we go. And now his fight with Song Yadong is official.
AK, stop saying it when I'm still with
Music first.
Jeez.
You have to spell official from now on. Boom.
Is that? Oh no, we are waiting for the man.
No,
of the
we got
hour
one to go.
first. How could I forget? Why am I asking? Starboy, Manel Kape.
The social media team is on standby, waiting to clip out Manel Kape stepping on the scale because everyone's waiting for it.
And then we are just shutting it down.
Okay.
Yeah. Again.
What did I say? I know I said Manel Kape would be maybe the first fighter, but no. He's coming at the very last because this is the man the weigh-ins were built around.
It's opposite day.
You saved the best for last. We all know that. You know, yeah.
Accurate.
You know what?
Very accurate.
No, but what I was saying before about the developmental, because I think this is an interesting conversation. Can you I love what they're doing with Contender Series, Ultimate Fighter, whatever. It is what it is. As long as it gets fighters opportunities, great. But imagine if they need. I'm still waiting for this UFC Fight Pass just laundry list of exclusive events and all this great stuff that Dana White's been promised over the couple of years. Now, I will say there has been a pandemic, so there's no blame going to my fellow bald brethren in that regard. But like a UFC Challengers series would be amazing. It would be amazing. I would watch the heck out of that. Pun intended. I would watch it all the time. Yeah, just do like a 5-fight card like you do on the Contender Series with like developing guys that are already under contract, and just do it like that, man. Like I think that's no brainer. You could do that any night of the week. You don't have to do it every single week, but you could even like once a month, just do a Challengers card. Like I would rather watch that on a Thursday than watch some of the fight night cards they have, and it could still you can even throw some on the ESPN Plus platform to check off the box you need to fill up those league cards that you promised them. But I just think it'd be so cool to, Contender Series guys, you got a developmental deal. Now you get to be on our UFC Challenger Series, and we'll throw you in there. But you can still take fights in the regional scene too if you want to stay busy. Like I just think it would be such a cool concept, and I think it would put more people over and like not just develop their talent, but we can get to know these guys so they can become potential stars.
It would be so much better than even the Contender Series or the Ultimate Fighter with familiarized people. If you just every time they popped up, you gave like a little extra glimpse in their lives. I think UFC doesn't. I think they underestimate how much it'd be like when you follow an athlete to college, right? Like how much a guy becomes famous in the amateur ranks before they turn pro. Like there's a built-in fan base, and if you could kind of manufacture that within your own roster, that would be crazy. Like there would be such a fondness, and people would have this loyalty to these guys. Like, oh, I fight three times on Challenger Series, and just wait, we talk to all his friends. You're a hipster like Casey, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy Manel Kape, he dominated the Challenger Series, and just wait, he's gonna be a future champ, and wait till he actually, he's on the actual UFC card. That is the conversations people have against athletes that they're really attached to, and when everyone's just thrown into the major leagues right away. Especially like, let's use an example. Johnny Muñoz and Jamey Simmons. We should know a little bit more about these guys before they're on the show. Are they Contender Series guys? Do you know?
No, Johnny Muñoz is one of the guys that took a fight on a day's notice when he made his debut. He's one of those guys oh man, we lost a fight, and then Johnny Muñoz stepped in either the night before weigh-ins or it was something like that.
Okay.
But Johnny's been a top prospect for a while, though.
How cool would it be if we had seen these guys a couple of times on UFC affiliated programming, right? And then they show up on a pay-per-view prelims, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool. I can't wait to see. You guys should see this Johnny Muñoz and Jamey Simmons. It's going to pop off. So yeah, it's little things like that. I know people are thinking is this a big deal? And it's like, guys, these are the little subliminal things you do to kind of influence your fan base, and it's the UFC is doing great. Don't get me wrong. None of this is saying the UFC needs to do any of this stuff, but boy, it could be cool if they implement some of these ideas, and it could build even bigger. I do see Waximus1 wants to know why did we keep saying redemption for that when they bring out the box. He's asking, did Casey Kenney miss weight? No. We a long time we used to call the box of shame every time they brought it out, which we realized was unfair. Because it shouldn't be shame. If they make the weight after, we're like, then it is the box of redemption. So we're trying to be positive here. If they need the box and they still make it, it's a box of redemption. It's fine. If they miss it might still be some shame talk. But in this case, we've had, I think, a couple of people who needed it today. Chiesa? No,
yes,
who needed it today?
Herman.
Casey Kenney.
Herman needed it.
Oh yes, Ed Herman.
Casey
Kenney.
Did Fiziev have it? No,
I think Fiziev also.
No, he just walked out with the
didn't?
towel like he was Val Venus.
Yeah.
Of course, I should have recalled. Sorry, I might have missed it. But we've had a couple of people either way. But either way, box of redemption. Everyone made it, no issue. So it's not nothing improper to say here about these gentlemen. Let's just hope everyone's healthy enough and that they can compete tomorrow.
I missed.
Okay.
I missed the hoop. I'm kind of missing. I mean, the box makes more sense.
No, don't say that. The hoop is fine. I thought you were gonna say you miss when they just they awkwardly try and hang a towel and please anyone with the camera set up, try and just cover your cameras and.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, the box is good. Mike, I think we should may as well do another rundown. This will probably be our last. Well, I guess may as well, right? Under the half-hour mark, just waiting for Manel Kape, but.
Ready for a rundown?
Let's let people know. Yeah. Let's do a third quarter rundown.
All right, here we go.
Third quarter.
Wait. Not yet. Do.
Just a reminder, if you're going to order UFC 265 tomorrow, go into UFC 265 articles on MMA.com or go in the arc here on some of the media day interviews. You can get the link right there and order this our night blind.
All right.
By an interim heavyweight championship bout.
Okay. Are you ready, Mr.
Between. I am born ready. I was just trying to wait for the music to hit, my man.
You mean this music?
That's right. As we're running down the weigh-ins results, the aforementioned interim heavyweight championship fight, Derrick Lewis, who weighed in at 264.5, will take on Ciryl Gane, who weighed in at 247 pounds with a big smile on his face. Co-main event, José Aldo weighed in at 136 for his fight against Pedro Muñoz, who hit 135 on the nose. Michael Chiesa was very funny on the scale. He said, do not set that scale for 155. Commission listened to him. Chiesa weighs in at 170.5 for his fight against Vicente Luque, weighed in at 170. Tisha Torres versus Angela Hill, both ladies weighed in at 115 pounds. Song Yadong weighed in at 135.5. Casey Kenney, we just saw, hit the scale at 136. Bobby Green for the featured ESPN2 prelim fight in the lightweight division, weighed in at 156. It's on the surging Rafael Fiziev, who weighed in at 155.5. Vince Morales will fight Drako Rodriguez. Both fighters weighed in at 136. Alonzo Menifield, 204.5, will take on the longtime veteran Ed Herman, the longest tenured UFC fighter. Herman weighed in at 205.5. Karolina Kowalkiewicz returns. She weighed in at 115, taking on Jessica Penne, weighed in at 116. Osbourne weighed in 125 pounds for his flyweight debut. Still waiting on the former Ryzen champion Manel Kape. Miles Johns weighed in at 136 for his fight with Anderson dos Santos, who weighed in at 135.5. Victoria Leonardo weighed in at 125 for her fight against Melissa Gatto, who's the very first fighter on the scale this morning. She weighed in at 124. And the first fight of the night in the UFC's deepest division, bantamweight, Johnny Muñoz weighed in at 135.5 to take on Jamey Simmons, who weighed in at 136. Back up north to the great country of Canada, to Alex K. Lee.
Excellent work, Mike. Excellent work. And again, people, if you want to hear more of Mike's voice and you're in the New England area, Mike, what is that? Ammo MMA?
Ammo Fight League. Ammo Fight League.
Oh, sorry, guys. Ammo Fight League. And where is it again?
Be at the Big E in West Springfield, Massachusetts. Very iconic place in New England. They have a huge fair throughout the fall season where you just go there and just crush food from all over the world. It's just a great time at the Big E.
There you go. So Mike will be there doing ring announcer duties, getting his Bruce Buffer, his well, my brain just broke. Joe Martinez, excuse me. Michael C. Williams. Pick your announcer of choice. Well, your announcer of choice will be Mike Heck after you hear him, but you guys get what I'm saying. We are now at the point where I've been saying for most of this weigh-in show, guys, don't worry about Manel Kape. Plenty of time to weigh in. We're now down to about the 20-minute mark. I don't recall him having issues before. He's weighed in for 2 fights now. Plus, he weighed in as an alternate for a flyweight title bout last year. So he's a veteran. He's a veteran of the UFC flyweight weight cutting process. However, he did compete at 135 when he was fighting in Ryzen, if I'm correct.
He went back. He back and forth. Yeah.
Sure. So again, I still wouldn't be concerned, but absolutely, when you're anytime you're the last guy up, everyone else has kind of come in. There was most of the people came in the first half hour. I understand if there's some concern, but 20 minutes is a very, very long time. When it gets to 10, then I think we'll all start sweating a bit. But hopefully everything is all right with Mr. Manel Kape, and he comes in, and if he needs the box of redemption, then so be it. Casey, I don't know if there's been any I haven't seen too many questions in the comments.
Yeah, I haven't been able to look at the comments. So
okay, that's fine. That's fine. I've been looking. Yeah, no, I've been looking. I haven't seen too many questions. So let's just see what any other storylines we're kind of underserving here. Oh, sorry. Mike just mentioned. Gosh, the bantamweight division is so good, so good. We have 4 bantamweight fights. I'm looking forward to all of them. Even though I said we don't know a lot about Johnny Muñoz and Jamey Simmons. I know, like you mentioned, Johnny's been a pretty high level prospect for a while. And anytime they pick guys like that to win the prelims, it's either going to excite back fight or we get a big finish. Miles Johns, Anderson dos Santos is just top notch. Really big Miles Johns fan. Vince Morales, Drako Rodriguez should be a banger. And again, what I think would be a potential fight of the year candidate, José Aldo. Pedro Muñoz in the co-main event. Mike, Casey Kenney. Should we talk about Casey Kenney?
Sure. It's your show, buddy.
I have your permission. I think we agree Dominic Cruz was a good matchup for him. But now that it happened, now that it's gone down, I know he feels pretty confident that he did well in that fight, Kenney. Do you think maybe that was too much too soon?
No, I thought it was the perfect fight to make because either Cruz comes back and gets a win over a very tough guy, and I think a lot of people viewed Casey Kenney as a very tough up-and-coming guy on the cusp of big things. And if Kenney won, he gets the big rub from beating a former world champion, a guy that a lot of people still to this day consider the greatest 135-pounder in the world. So I like them. It was a very close fight. I mean, if you ask Casey Kenney right now, he feels like he's still to this day won 2 rounds. He's not going to cry about it or be sad about it. He's past it. But, he takes some solace in the fact that he feels like he won 2 rounds against Dominic Cruz. Whether that's the case or not, subjective, the way we watched that fight and viewed it. But I think Casey's handling it well. I think he feels good that he didn't perform that well, but still, gave Dominic a tough fight. So you can only learn and grow from that. And I think he's handling the loss very well. So I had no problem with the matchmaking. In fact, I think it was absolutely picture perfect matchmaking.
I didn't like the matchmaking.
Casey, go ahead.
I didn't really like the matchmaking, but I felt the UFC and both fighters all came out on top, even with Kenney taking the loss, because it was one of those. It was a moral victory, because he looked competitive, and Kenney just looked like someone that was not quite ready for prime time, but will be eventually. That's all. And Dominic Cruz got back on the winning streak. So for the UFC and both fighters, it's all wins, except for the literal loss.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's the case of we were beaten by the best. We were beaten by the best, and there's no shame in that. Cruz, one of the greatest of all time. Kenney just kind of starting his run as a bantamweight, just blue chipper for sure, future title contender quite possibly. And I was going to say I think the matchup with Song is also.
People are moving.
Oh, here we go.
All right, our final fighter to weigh in this morning in the UFC's flyweight division, Manel Kape.
Comes Starboy.
Where are my scenes? Oh, hold on.
I think he's asking for the BOR.
Yes, he looks fresh from the sauna as well. He looks like he just stepped out of a sauna.
Make sure I don't get any unnecessary nudity.
Casey, do we know if there will be, should he miss, if there will be an additional time?
He won't miss. He's a professional. He's Starboy. Don't worry.
Okay. Why am I even asking? Why am I even asking?
Ooh. 129 pounds, the official weight for Manel Kape.
Oh boy, that was 129 for Manel Kape. 3 pounds over. Given that he came in 15 minutes before, and of course missed by a significant amount, obviously we do not think he'll attempt to weigh in again. It would seem very unlikely. Oh.
All right. 129. Put that in there. Hold on a second.
Yes. So I hate when this happens. We don't get to end on the official music because we don't know the status of this bout yet. My guess is we will see the fight happen. 30% fine for Manel Kape, and it takes place at a catch weight. And again, fingers crossed. Everyone's also medically cleared. Do next tomorrow morning, but cannot say that fight is official. We'll have to wait for an update, guys. Look for an update on our social media, MMAfighting.com. We will let you guys know what the status of that bout is. But otherwise, Mike, how is everything else looking?
Everything looks fine, AK.
It was a box. It was a box of shame. It was a box of shame
was
this
a box
time.
of shame.
Unfortunately, it
That's
ends in a box of shame.
That is,
Box of
yeah,
redemption.
yeah. It's innocent until proven guilty, and there we are.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
It's the American way cutting system. That's where we're at right now. But
So if
I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but I have to. I'm just trying to prepare our viewing audience, because let us not forget where we're at, where this fight card is taking place. It is taking place in Houston, Texas. Things happen in Houston with the judging, and it's not always good. Mostly very bad. So I want everybody to just be prepared that this might happen. Okay, don't go. A lot of times I tell you to go in with an open mind. When it comes to the judging, do not go in with an open mind. Be prepared for at least some sort of disappointment. And if you do that, I think we'll all enjoy the card more as a whole. Okay? There's going to be some bad decisions tomorrow, more than likely. Just some pretty atrocious scorecards. Let's just deal with it. It's going to happen. So it is what it is. Just be prepared. That's all I want to say.
What Mike just said, I would like just to kind of use that kind of rule for life in general. Just go into it with disappointment.
No.
Just go.
No. I didn't say disappointment. Just listen. We all know we all know the golden rule of MMA: never let it go to the judges' scorecards. Dana's been beating that into our heads for 20 years now.
Stop it.
But just be prepared. Okay, just be prepared.
No.
There's no. There might be a robbery. AK might be very busy early next week, writing some double R's. So,
hey, real quick before we go off, I have a quick video. I put all the weigh-ins real quick together, a quick highlight video. So I'm gonna roll it in the background. We can just kind of.
Is there will there be music? Or will you put Green Day's "Time of Your Life" over the back of it? Good inside your life. Oh, we can't afford that.
He's got like Guster. He's got like Guster or something getting ready to play.
Here we go, guys.
There's the whole UFC debut here tomorrow. 124, the official weight for Melissa Gatto. All right, next athlete to the scale, one half of our co-main event, one of the best bantamweights in the world, ranked 9th at present, the young Punisher, Pedro Muñoz. $135, the official weight for Pedro Muñoz. All right, next fighter to the scale, we will stay in the bantamweight division as we welcome Jamey Muñoz. 135.5, the official weight for Jamey Muñoz. All right, next fighter to the scale, back for the first time in a long time in the UFC strawweight division, Karolina Kowalkiewicz. 115, the official weight for Karolina Kowalkiewicz. All right, next fighter to the scale, also in the strawweight division, competing live on pay-per-view tomorrow night, Chiesa Torres. The official weight, 115 pounds for 10th ranked Chiesa Torres. All right, next fighter to the scale, charged with kicking off the main card live on pay-per-view in the bantamweight division. He is Yadong. The official weight, 135.5 pounds for Yadong. All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC's flyweight division, Osbourne. 125, the official weight for Ode Osbourne. All right, next fighter to the scale in the bantamweight division, Anderson dos Santos. $135.5, the official weight for Anderson dos Santos. All right, next fighter to the scale in the UFC women's flyweight division, Victoria Leonardo. Right on the nose, 125, the official weight for Victoria Leonardo. All right, next fighter to the scale, one half of our featured prelim live on ESPN2 in the lightweight division. This man set for his 40th professional MMA fight. He is Bobby King Green. 156, the official weight for Bobby Green. All right, next fighter to the scale, 12th ranked in the UFC women's strawweight division. You can see her fight live on pay-per-view tomorrow night, Angela Hill. The official weight, 115 pounds for Angela Hill. All right, next fighter to the scale, also in the UFC women's strawweight division and competing live on ESPN2, Jessica Penne. 116 pounds, the official weight for Jessica Penne. Main event, he is the king of Rio de Janeiro, former two-time UFC featherweight champion, José Aldo Jr. $136, the official weight for the future Hall of Famer, José Aldo. All right, next fighter to weigh in this morning in the UFC's light heavyweight division, Alonzo Menifield. Official weight, 204.5 for Alonzo Menifield. All right, moving on now to the UFC's bantamweight division, Jamey Simmons. 136 pounds, the official weight for Jamey Simmons. All right, next fighter to the scale. He is the man around whom this fight card was built. The number 2 ranked heavyweight contender, Houston's own Derrick the Black Beast Lewis. 264.5, the official weight for the Black Beast, Derrick Lewis. The official weight, 136 pounds for Miles Johns. 136, the official weight for Vince Morales. All right, next fighter to the scale is the man with the longest uninterrupted tenure in the UFC at present. He is Ed Short Fuse Herman. 205.5, the official weight for Ed Herman. The number 6 next to his name at present, the silent assassin, Vicente Luque. 170 pounds, the official weight for Vicente Luque. Ready to weigh in the UFC's bantamweight division, Drako Rodriguez. £136, the official weight for Drako Rodriguez. In the world, competing live on pay-per-view here tomorrow night, Michael Maverick Chiesa. 170.5 pounds, the official weight for Michael Chiesa. And for the UFC's interim heavyweight title, Ciryl Gane. £247, the official weight for Ciryl Gane. Your UFC interim heavyweight championship main event is official. All right, next fighter to the scale, competing in our featured prelim live on ESPN2 in the UFC's lightweight division, Rafael Fiziev. 155.5, the official weight for Rafael Fiziev. All right, next fighter to the scale, charged with kicking off the pay-per-view main card on what is a busy night for the UFC's bantamweight division, Kenney.
And here comes our last fighter.
136 pounds, the official weight for Kenney.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh, that was it.
And we had Starboy weigh in after that.
Yes, of course.
Missed
So,
weight,
we're still waiting. Still waiting to hear on the result of what's going on with Manel Kape, and Odie Osbourne. But we'll have that shortly, guys. We're probably gonna dip off here now. Thank you for joining us. Again, check MMAfighting.com, our social media, and our website for details what's going on with Kape's situation. And there will be a ceremonial weigh-ins later today, which I believe Casey, of course, you will be in attendance for that as well. So yes, no typical morning stare downs. Wait for those guys. Traditional pay-per-view stare downs later today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mike Heck.
No Anik, no Megan O'Leary, no DC, no nothing. They usually bring these guys to hype us up.
It looks very grim. That last everything's just the lights are off. It's just a darkened stage. Like, show's over, folks.
Yeah.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So. Thank you for, but again, thank you guys, everyone, for watching. Thank you on behalf of Mike Heck for co-hosting with me, and of course the producer, EKC Line. And we will see you guys later today for a preview show, Q&A tomorrow, ceremonials. Peace out, everyone.
Bye. Hey, happy birthday, AK.
Oh, thank you.